Shout out to each and every one of you. Good day, good day. It's your boy, MarkN MUFC fan, and you know what it is, guys. Smash those likes up and subscribe. It's game day, it's match day, and of course, guys, Man United plays today. Sunday. It's a good Sunday. Super Sunday because Man United is on. The red kid is here, guys. And of course, you're going to see the captain walking out in just under 45 minutes. But for now, guys, you got your boy Mark N. We're going to be hanging out, talking about the game. Of course, you can see the starting lineups right there. And again, the manager has chosen not to start Benjamin Sesko. He goes with Mason Mount in this false nine approach. And of course, it's going to be interesting as we see Bruno Fernandes is partnered in midfield with Casemiro. Cunha and Mbumo starts this time. Of course, Ahmad starts on the right wing. Back of course, as you know, Dorgu is the left wing back, and of course, the back line seems to be the same from the last game. And that's Luke Shaw on the left, Dillet in the center, and Lenny Euro off the right. Bayern there is in goal. Once again, it looks like the manager is actually giving the player a run of games, and that's interesting to see because guess what? This was not the case last season. Of course, we know Manchester United are on the cusp of signing Sen Lamens, guys. We've spoken about Sen Lamens every single transfer stream. I always told you the last few weeks of the window, it was a deal easily to be done for Man United. I always spoke on the price point, 20 to 25 million euros. Of course, it could have been with add-ons or it could have been a direct payment. Of course, we know right now it's going to be around 20 to 25 million euros. Everyone talked about 17 here and 17 there, but 25 million euros, guys. You all followed my streams. You know your boy gave you this update 9 weeks every single day. So it shouldn't be anything new to you that Man United is signing Sen Lamens. I did tell you guys it was never dependent on Onana or any other goalkeeper in situation at Man United. It was always a deal the club was going to do. So shout outs to those of you who are always here, the believers. You know what it is. And we're here for the watch along, guys. So let's talk about the starting lineup. Interesting times. Big up to Mark Davies in the building. And of course, shout out to Stephanie Griffith. Hearts to you. Hope you have a wonderful time in the pub, the MVP of the Man United space. And of course, my brother Mark Davies is in the house. And he says, shout out to you, Mark. What's the point of buying Sesko if you're not playing him up front? I want Amarim out now. You buy a forward and you don't play him. I want us. I would start him instead, Mark. I also agree. I would start him instead, but bro, I'm not ready to go on the Amarim's throat in this current moment. You might be disappointed in me. Shout outs to you, Don C, in the building. Of course, what I would say to everyone is take a step back right now. It's just the second game of the season. Maybe the manager has a plan for this player. Maybe he needs this. He wants this player to be in a certain vein coming into the starting lineup. Maybe he's not just there yet. You know, contrary to what we say or what we think, even I think he's been ready and fully match fit, he might not be the case. You know what I'm saying, guys? We don't see what the manager sees. But back, contrary to my boy Jack Reacher being sad, no Nana, I'm happy it's Bayern there again, a second chance after the mistake he made, of course. You know, he might not be the best to be our number one, and of course, this is why we are signing Sen Lamens today. But I would say, you know, he could definitely show better performances and might deserve to be a number two. And having a very good number two or a number two that could at least do the job the right way or the way we need him to do the job, it's also important to find out this summer with the huge mass exodus that's going on at Man United and all the different incomings and possible outgoings. And yes, Don C, we certainly agree Mount in that position is failure already. But unlike my brother Son, who's definitely mad at Man United because he says 3-0 Fulham, or I'm going to say to you, broski, it's going to be the score flipped the other way around. It's probably going to be 3-0 Man United by the half because from the looks of the performance last week, this Man United team is hungry. They've shown a lot of intensity. They've showed a very consistent performance throughout the entire game against the likes of Arsenal that just dominated Leeds 5-0 yesterday. And I would say to you guys, we were the dominant team in that game. And people might say Arsenal didn't get out of second gear, but they were always in first gear hoping to survive, in my honest opinion. People might disagree. We just couldn't score. And that was just one of the things. It's the age-old story with Man United. Of course, we have a striker who's supposed to be solving that solution, but he's not in the starting lineup. But I would say to you guys, let's give it some time. Let's give this a few more games before we really go onto the manager's neck over the striker. I think he's going to bring him in, and when he brings him in, we're never going to have to worry about him being injured or not being at pace of the game. And I would say this, you know what I mean? No, Sesko, not good news. Our goalkeeper worry me. My brother Neil Driscoll, respect to you. You know, the legend in the chat space here. Guys, of course, recognize, and if you don't know him, get to know him. Very, very long, faithful, serving Manchester United fan. All my respect goes to Neil each and every time. You know what I mean? Shout outs to him. Shout outs to Frankie in the building, my brother as well. I hope you're great. You know what I mean? He says, big up to the chat. He hopes everyone is well. How are you guys feeling? I hope everyone is well as well. And I hope everyone is, a little bit on the bright side, like the sun outside my windowsill right now. It's warm. Neil says 2-1. He still feels positive. Yeah, Neil, I'm taking that with you because you know what? I do feel United have some goals in them today. I might be a little bit on the exaggerated side, but I'm thinking of an unrealistic scoreline, to be fair, guys. Like when I look at today's game and I look at Manchester United's performance against Arsenal, of course it was against Arsenal, of course it was at home, but this one's away. And I think everyone knows if they don't get a job done tonight and get 3 points, the media is going to be on our backs. They're going to come for Amarim. They're going to come for some of our signings. So I think these guys are pretty much fired up for today, guys. So I'm going to go with a scoreline of a 5-1. I expect Man United to be brilliant in front of goal today. I think in the first half it's going to be a 2-1. It's a very close game. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that is because I expect Bruno Fernandes to get an assist very early. I expect Cunha to be one of the first scorers in the game today, possibly Mbumo. I also think that Sesko is going to come off the bench and bag a hat trick, and that's going to be the bottom line because MarkN said so. But you know what I mean, guys. It's just me being funny. Hope you guys have a great one. But I definitely think this is going to be an interesting game for us today. Of course, Man United have not lost away to Fulham in many, many years, guys. We are on pretty much of a winning streak. It's 14 games to one. And of course, it could get worse today. Also, some negative news or some negative points. Man United have not won 9 times in a row. So, although we've won 14 times, we have not won 9 times in a row. So, that says something. But at the same time, it could change today because I would say to you guys that we have a difference. We have difference makers in Mbumo, difference makers in Cunha. We have Bruno Fernandes fully fit and raring to go. Ahmad is starting today, guys. It's going to be an attacking start for Man United. We're going to be pressing from the beginning, trying to get ourselves stamped into this game. And I think this is a strong move from the manager. I'll give him a clap for that. I don't really like the Mason Mount starting, but if we get some goals early and we score first, I think the manager will deserve credit for his starting lineup, and that's where the credit will go. But until then, guys, what I will say to you is like, I'm expecting a win from the lads. I'm expecting a strong performance, and I'm expecting everyone to be here cheering them on, smashing the likes. And of course, if you're a member, you would see some new emojis and badges next to your name. Pop them into the chat, enjoy them. Let me know what you think. Of course, I have to get one. The guys tell me I'm too positive. I need a bum emojis to be fair. So I'll have to create one of those. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, I'm certainly Pickford saves. But I'm certainly interested to see how you guys enjoy the new badges and logos. Of course, there's a new tier of memberships open, so you guys can check that out if you're interested in becoming a member of the channel. Of course, it's not necessary. You know what I mean? You guys just coming here having a good time, jumping in the chat, commenting. That's the only thing I would love to see every single time I go live, guys. Just that you guys are here having a good time in the chat and enjoying yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Fulham is not a bad side, guys. Definitely don't forget to hit the likes. But what I could tell you is that, Man United are not to be sniffed at. A lot of people would think that last season's performance is somehow a barometer for our base performance. I think last season's performance is a barometer for our performances at our absolute worst, guys. Absolute worst. And when I say absolute worst, I mean the absolute worst. Not even near our goodness, or certainly not even close to our best. So, guys, I would say we start off this season in a much stronger position. And when I say a stronger position, I see a much more stable position, as you can see with the performance against Arsenal. And I would say to you guys that our much more balanced performance puts us in a top 8 fight to begin the season. Do not despair. Of course, we have not won, so it looks like we're 15th, but it's no problem. We win today, and we're going into the top 10 easily. And guys, I can tell you now, I can see it. Man United are going to come out guns blazing to me. You're going to have a performance to enjoy your Sunday meal over. So if you're ready, get ready. If you're not, get yourself a shower, get some snacks, get some drinks, and join us in the watch along with your boy MarkN. Let's get ready for Manchester United to put on a master class and call it Super Sunday. Because you know what? It's not a football weekend if Man United don't grace the field. So, guys, it's been so long. Premier League hasn't been back. Game week 2 is here. Fulham, Man United live right here on Red Devil Sport, Red Devil DE, MarkN MUFC fan. You know what it is, guys. Smash the likes up and join us. Come in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking about the starting lineup. As you can see, the starting lineup for both teams are to my right or to my left, depending on your orientation, guys. From my perspective, it's to my left. You know what I mean? But because I'm facing the camera when I turn, it's actually to my it's still to my right, really and truly, but at the same time. Yeah. But guys, you know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts on the Saint Lament signing? Like a lot of people would say to you that we needed to sell Hoyland to sign Saint Lament, and I'm going to say to you guys, if we needed to sell a player who's going on loan with no actual fee, yeah, in order to purchase a player for £10 million, United would be in a very sorry state, guys. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that we can't do better business as Manchester United and be among some of the top selling clubs in world football. But Manchester United has never been a club that needed to sell to make money. We have never been a club that really needed to sell to make purchases. Might be excuses that we use. I would pretty much think it's more excuses than actual factualities. Man United has always been one of the top earning clubs each and every season, guys. And if you doubt me, just Google. We are still the second richest club in world football today, and as of weeks ago. It's not changed. And we are a whole billion point 5 richer than most other clubs, especially in the Premier League. So, guys, you need to take in to understand that, yeah, we use these tactics, and of course, it sounds great sometimes, but sometimes it's a bluff. So, not saying that the club doesn't, need money, but I'm saying that the club, we generate money as well, very well. You know what I'm saying? From other ways. So, starting lineup for Fulham: Leno in goal, Tete, Anderson, Bassi, Castagne, Sander Berger, Lukic in the midfield, Sessegnon, King, and Iwobi. And of course, up front is Munaiz. Bayern Dares in goal for Man United. Euro, Delit, Shaw make up our defensive line. Ahmad, Casemiro, Fernandez, and Dorgu is the four in midfield. And Bumo, Mount, and Cunha is our attacking front three, guys. And the game is not too long about to begin. I'm just about to just grab a drink myself, guys. I think my buddy's supposed to be joining me shortly. Hopefully, Steve is going to be coming in soon. I'll be 2 quick seconds, as I should say. Just need to grab the charger. It's going to be a long one, guys. So, I got to make sure that I got enough power to go through the hours. You know what I mean? Your boy does get a little bit excited during the games. So I can't afford for the battery life for my phone to go out mid game, as I'm saying as well. But Amarim is now talking to the press guys, giving his pre-match talks, and of course he looks pretty comfortable. He looks pretty confident, as he should be. The manager has been backed in this transfer window. Players he didn't want at the club has been forced out. Some have made their own moves, decisions, but in generally they have been placed outside of the regular team, outside of training. They've been banished in sorts. You know what I mean? Players that he didn't think he had game time for, they are all looking for moves to get themselves game time as well. It's a World Cup year, so it's going to be very difficult for players who really want to play for their national team and go to this first inaugural World Cup of 48 teams. That's going to be interesting. We'll be talking more about that as the weeks persist because I guess, again, there's going to be an international break in the first week of September, guys. If you have not remembered, it's coming up in just about 10 days. It's going to be an international break. And guys, it's going to get very interesting from there. So lots of injuries to be had this season. Hopefully not at Manchester United. But guys, it's going to be something that's facing all leagues this season, not just the Premier League and all clubs, not just Manchester United. Squad depth is going to certainly play a key role in this season. And I would say to a lot of people who are happy and excited for certain players to leave, you might not feel that way in the next coming months when there are all kind of sorts of things happening and the transfer window has closed. So I would repeat, guys, remember this is a World Cup year. Lots of players on our team are national representatives, and these players will possibly be starters, which will be facing the brunt of challenges from teams from other countries who don't even play in top leagues. And of course, injuries cannot be predicted by anyone. So, guys, think a little bit twice before you condemn a player to get out of United in the next coming days, because depending on how weird the season goes, you might end up hoping that we had that player in reserve for some strange reason. You know what I mean? But you know how it is, guys. It's all about opinions and moments. And like I keep saying to everyone, whether or not you like a player, as long as they could come in and do their job for Manchester United, they should be given a chance to do so and given your support. Sometimes not your favorite player might not be the player that might just come up and win us a game, but they just might. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. I apologize. I really apologize. But I can't have it running down my nose while I'm speaking to you guys. That would be embarrassing. You know what I mean? Of course, the fantasy stats on Benjamin Sesko, he's very expensive at 7.5 million pounds, and he has no goals yet so far in the season. It will be interesting to see what happens. Munaiz is an interesting forward. Of course, young Papi, I think so too, broski. What are you saying? What are you saying? What's your scoreline prediction, young Papi, in the building? Let me know what you're saying, bro. Rodrigo Munaiz is a striker everyone should be looking at, guys. He's an interesting player. I think he's a very good player. It's a striker that a lot of us, even myself, we overlooked when Man United was hunting for a striker, but he is a striker I wouldn't mind bringing at Manchester United. He's a young guy, around 25, 26 years old. He has a good physique, good ability on the ball, good reading of the game, and he can create a lot of problems. I think at Fulham, he's underused slightly, and there's not a bulk of quality around him to help him really show his true quality. But you know what I mean? You never know what could happen. Man United might just be looking at him. It might be interesting as well because I think he's a very interesting type of striker. You know what I mean? Jack Reacher says 2-1 MU. Young Papi says, I need a convincing win. Nothing under 3-0, and we cannot concede. Well, bro, it's going to be interesting to see if they grant that wish. You know what I mean? It's one of those weekends that you might just get your wish. Amarim's looks pretty excited for the game today. The players look pretty lively in their warm up. Of course, a lot of different, good performances around the weekend. Sesko had a brace. I would say, luckily, helped by the defense, the poor defending of Leeds. But at the same time, not to sound bitter, I would still, in some way, shape, or form, give it up to the player for sticking at it and getting his goals at the end of the day. The penalty one from Max Doman, I think, was a gift as well. And of course, Sesko, I mean, Gyökeres put it away. Today is big man Sesko. When does he get his moment? Who knows? Only Ruben Amorim. Hopefully he comes on early. Maybe we score 2 goals in the game. And, Ruben Amorim decides to bring him on in the second half very early to see what 45 minutes can do for the player. But judging on from what I've seen previously, I would expect him around the 65th minute. And I do certainly expect to see goals from him today. We didn't see any in the last game. I would say they didn't exactly play to his strengths in that 15-minute cameo that he enjoyed. But if they could possibly add some more and give him some service, we will see some of the Sesko. He has an amazing left foot and a wondrous right strike. So let's see how it goes, because it might be something that could happen in the second half. Let's see. Hopefully, we're leading the game, and I expect a strong performance from the team. I don't expect to see any of them playing, like they're not fully fit or like they're lacking energy at any point in time. Yeah, how they get that call, but we didn't get ours last week, officiating will cost us. I mean, it's interesting to see, and we'll see how that goes, bro. Like, to be honest, it is what it is. We got to do our part. We, as Manchester United, we always had to do whatever we did undeniably. So, score the shots from outside the box, no fouls, try to keep it clean as possible. And we just got to do our thing, guys. They're always going to be, hating on us, not really officiating our games properly. And it's just what we're going to be doing. So, for me, I'm just going to say it like that. We got to just hold on and fight strong, guys, because realistically, that's how it goes. That's how it's going to go for us. You know what I mean? The game is going to begin in less than 20 minutes, guys. The players have already had their warm up. They're now inside talking to their managers respectively and getting themselves psyched up mentally to walk out on that pitch and represent the red and black. And of course, Fulham, they're at home, but Man United are away, and we're a dangerous opponent this season. And you can't really judge us because you don't really know us. And to be honest, guys, that's how I feel about the team in this current moment. A lot of people will try to judge us, but they don't really know us. They can assume what they want about Man United from last season, but we got difference makers in our team this season. And not only we got different makers, but we got players in our team this season that will do different things to what they have expected from us in previous times. We've got experience and we've got young talent upcoming, ready to take that next step. So let's see how it goes. Don't suppose a color referee, huh? Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Hopefully the referee is wearing the neutral colors today, my bro. Hopefully. With the current starting 11 without Sesko, easy 2-1 win. With Sesko, definitely 3+ goals for Man United, says Frankie in the building. And of course, Frankie, of course, you share my views. I expect Sesko to come in and add some long needed goals to Man United's offense. And of course, I expect him to come in today and make a huge impact, not just because Gyökeres scored last week, but because I think Sesko himself has goals for for his own career, and he wants to achieve, and he's a fighter, and he's someone who always exceeds expectation at every single club he goes to. The trend is he exceeds your expectations of him. So that's just something that I think he's going to try to translate into the Premier League. Of course, he's going to need a little time to adjust. We're not going to say he's going to just hit the ground running, but you never know what could happen. A goal can change a striker in the matter of a flash. He can go from being timid to being a dragon. And all it takes is one goal, guys. It starts with one, and that's is all he needs. You know what I'm saying? SSS Stormtrooper more like, says Jack Reacher. Of course, Sesko is one of those guys. He's a different kind of beast. He's a guy that's physical. Don't think you can play on him. because he's one of those guys that loves to show people who thinks that he can't do it that he can. You know what I mean? And when I say that to you guys, I say that to you with the understanding and the confidence that I've watched this player not just play for Salzburg, but not just play for Leipzig, but play for his national team where he has led the line as a youngster for a long, long time. And what I can tell you is that this player is someone that has his eyes set on being a very top draw player in world football. And in order to do that, he's going to have to work hard, which he does. He's very, very athletic. Hasn't gotten the chance to show it yet, really. But you guys will see with the more and more games that he plays. Shout out to D Up Sports in the building. Big up to you, my brother. I hope you're well. What's good? What's good? If you want to pop in, broski, I'll drop the link. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you'll get in, but yeah, I'll drop the link. The guys are walking out on the pitch right now. And of course, Man United in red, Fulham in white. It's an away game. But of course, Man United are wearing the red kit. How did I not notice this? But look, my red kit is here. And of course, I got on the Tray 4 kit today. So it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Up the Reds. Let's go, Man United. Big up Admiral in the building from Frankie. Cunha is there. Everything is kosher with Cunha at the moment. The guy looks a monster in this game, guys. What can I tell you? Ah, Super Sunday. The Sunday has just gotten exciting, guys. Woohoo! Okay. Yo, the starting lineups are playing again. Again. We already seen this. You know what I'm saying, guys? We spoke about this. But you guys haven't given your predictions in the chat. Of course, guys, if you're there, drop your predictions in the chat. Let me know what you think about the starting lineups of the game. Who do you think is going to be the first scorer of Manchester United? Of course, let me know what you would think is going to be the man of the match. Can you predict the man of the match as well? Let your boy know in the comments, guys. Of course, you will be highlighted at the end of the game. Of course, we will be checking to see who got it, who has seen or who had the vision before the start. And like I said to you guys, the starting lineup remains what we have announced previously. Bayern there in goal, Lenny Euro, Delit, and Shaw in the back line. Of course, Amad Diallo starts. Patrick Dorgu plays on the opposite wing back. And of course, Casemiro partners Bruno, Cunha, Mbumo, and Mason Mount start up front for Manchester United in this game today. Broski. Sometimes I be crazy, yeah, bro. Fonson. Hmm. 1 second, guys. 1 second. This. Yo. Yeah, so the game has kicked off. Let's go, Reds. Onana is on the bench. He doesn't look too happy, but he's got to sit there because he's not match fit. So it is what it is, Onana. You're on the bench, bro. Chill out. So the game has kicked off. Of course, you know what I mean? It's going to be an interesting one. Let's see how that game goes. Who's going to be the first scorer today for Manchester United? My bet's on Bruno Fernandes, guys. And the pressing monster, Mason Mount, is up front as usual. Man United wins the ball in the midfield. Loose pass there from Bruno, but he wins it back straight onto Cunha. Cunha with a strike! Oh, just above the corner of the post, guys. Almost in. What can I say, guys? It would have been a wonder goal if Cunha had put that one into the back of the net right there from that pass from Bruno Fernandes. He let that rip. It was just above, laying back just a little too much, not enough dip on the shot, but you can see the intent from the United number 10 in this game early doors. He is not playing any games today, guys, and Man United seem to be ready and willing. As Dorgu is breaking on the left, Mason Mount plays him in, receives a pass, and it's back again. This post, man, blocked, blocked. Man United are certainly pressing for that opening goal. Certainly pressing Fulham. Fulham have, and they've won the ball back early. It's Mbumo off the Mbumo. Mbumo. Oh, and he was just fouled there, or the ball was just tackled away from him. Certainly interesting. Cunha both times, almost. First time just over, second time off the post. Post saving the goalkeeper. Post saving the goalkeeper through the legs of Carlos Bassi. Oh my goodness, guys. And we were almost celebrating our opening goal, Cunha's opening goal of the season. Man United win the ball back early in midfield, and it seems like the trend of this game. Man United are showing that they are the first to the second balls in the early start of the second half. And forward passes galore have been seeing. Of course, pass missed, but hurried. And Man United are winning the ball back like a pack of hungry wolves. Mason Mount is on the ball now. Casemiro plays it back to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw to delete out to Lenny Euro. Lenny Euro sprays the ball out to Amad Diallo. No, he doesn't. He keeps possession. Now he sends it forward to Bruno, who drops it into Casemiro, who dinks it off to Mason Mount. It's back to Bruno. Oh, that was Mbumo just now. Sorry, guys. Interesting. United are stringing together some passes very nicely, and it's a throw-in for Man United after that ball was defended and headed out clear by the Fulham defender. Of course, ball back in the possession of Manchester United, as it seems to be the current status of quo as this game has begun early doors. And Dorgu's on a break, and he's onside. Ball into the box. Oh, he goes for the worldie, and he hits the side netting when there was a Man United player following him in on the box, and that player was Brian Mbumo. He was all the way onside. Unbelievable decision by him just now there. It's tough luck. Yeah, I can't hate the guy for trying, but a pass across the box just now would have been a guaranteed goal as Mbumo would have been walking in to tap it home, and he chose to go for glory, Patrick Dorgu. But now, Man United back in the midfield, Fulham on the ball. United are pressing with Amad Diallo all the way back to their goalkeeper. Now their defense are in possession as they try to make their way out. Man United are not initiating the press in this moment. They are waiting until they are nearer to the midfield mark. Man United's press seems to be being initiated in the second third of the pitch, just above the half circle, where they initiate a heavy press. and they are currently getting themselves into a position where they are forcing Fulham to make some bad decisions. Of course, Fulham have not yet settled themselves into the game, and United intend to keep it that way. And it looks like they are successfully doing that in this current moment with their supposedly their supposed press. It's interesting, and their press is triggered again. Fulham are forced all the way back to their goalkeeper for another time. They are unable to make any inroads going forward, completely forced back. Though they maintain possession, United are pressing very smartly and aggressively in this current moment. Ball goes over the top into midfield. Wins the ball in the defense. The ball is with Matthias Cunha, who sprays the ball out to Amad Diallo. Oh, that was Casemiro, my bad. Ball with Len Euro now. Man United regain possession and control of the momentum. Of course, ball is with Luke Shaw. Back to Delit. Delit plays this pass to Len Euro, who plays it forward to Mbumo. Mbumo, under some pressure, plays the ball back to Len Euro, who plays it now all the way back to Bayende. Calvin Bassey is down, holding his face. Apparently, he's trying to cry because he ran into the strength of Mbumo, trying to bundle him over, but he's trying to call for a foul, but nothing has happened there. Akusha says the referee is not good. Calvin Bassey crying like a big girl on the ground because he can't outmuscle the player like he was once lifting. You know, when he lifted Chido Obi over. Calvin Bassey is still crying to the referee. He is still crying to the referee. And he's off the pitch with all his crying. You want us to pretend you got someone purposely hit you in your face, then you have to go off the pitch to check your injury. It's a head injury. You know what I mean? Man United has the one man advantage, of course. That ball over the top from the lit did not help things. And of course, there's a goal kick for Fulham. Calvin Bassey is asking, pleading to come back on the pitch, and he's now allowed to do so. Shocking that we didn't do a better job there. All these players going to turn into crybabies at some point. I think it was ridiculous. What was he protesting for? Alvin Bassey cracking me up, yes. Uh Fulham goes long with a ploy play, trick play, but ball goes straight out of play. Man United throw in. Of course, Man United are in possession again. You know that for sure, Jack Reacher. They're always trying to roll around on the pitch. Ball goes out to Amad Diallo. Who sets Mbumo a free on the right wing, makes the overlap, receives the pass from Mbumo. Oh, tackle there by the Fulham player, and it's a goal kick. No protest, not much protestation there from Amad Diallo, so maybe the player had won the ball fairly there. It looked like it came off of Sessegnon, but the decision is a goal kick, which is taken quickly. Ball played into midfield. Casemiro wins that ball out to Mbumo. Ball, ball to Cunha. And Bruno shot! Was filled by the goalkeeper. And it's played out hastily by the defender. Oh, United was almost onto that rebound as well. Of course, not quite getting there. Luke Shaw loses possession high up the pitch, but wins it back with a touch. but he has also fouled Castagne in the same process. And Bruno is asking, what is that call for? It was for the foul from Luke Shaw. Oh, it comes off the hand. It comes off the hand of a Fulham player. But I mean, ball to hand more in that moment than anything else, guys. What can I say? You know what I mean? But it does come off the hand of a Fulham player there. That is really interesting. Really, really interesting that not even looked at because of the distance. It was at least 3 or 4 meters away from the initial shot. Let's see. Let's see. The refereeing is not so good as we said, Jack Reacher, but Man United looked very, very dangerous in these opening minutes. Ball onto the wing. Castagne plays it back into the midfield, lets the ball run on. Cunha chasing, pressing Cells, who plays the ball through midfield, beating the Cunha press in that moment. Mason Mount is now there. Bruno is telling them, hold off. As Tete comes forward with the ball right now, Bruno pulls him up, goes all the way back. Mason Mount. Fulham can only play with the ball in their defense in this current moment. That's where they're given the free opportunity to do that. A ball played over the top that goes all the way out. And it seems that Fulham are starting to become very restless as their options going forward become even more limited. I would say the Man United shape so far in this game has looked pretty good. Man United's defending and the way they've closed off passing lanes have been also good. Just a mistake there from Dogu, but nothing to worry about. I assume Man United is going to win this ball back in the next two passes. Oh, oh, oh! Big save from the goalkeeper there as Man United allow a pass, a stray ball through, and by there coming up, big one-on-one, chasing down the loose ball and making a big stop, clearing it away. The player coming on, rushing, almost a shot on goal, but the Bayern there, big with the foot stop there. That has to be interesting from Bayern there. Lots of courage to come there as he claims the next chance, as he just claims there as well. Looking good in the opening moments there is Bayern there, in my honest opinion, guys. So I don't know what you guys are thinking. But that ball through there was almost going to be a big problem for Man United had he not quickly thought what he was thinking there. He made the player look and he stretched impeccably. What a good stretch that was. I'm not as young as I could. I don't know if I could make that stretch right now, but that was brilliant from Bayern there. That was brilliant. Quick thinking. And he plays it long. Looks like who that's what it? Ooh, 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 ooh. And it's a corner for Man United, guys. I almost screamed 1-0, yeah. Almost, guys. It looked at Bayern, they're almost getting an assist. They're putting Cunha all the way through, but coming off the quick reaction of Cell, just able to get part of his arm to deflect the ball slightly. He didn't know too much about it at all. I can't say, and no one can say, he knew it where it was. That was just pure reflections. You know what I mean? And that is offside by Brian Mbumo. But what a play from Bayern there to see the lurking Cunha and get that ball to him. Cunha using his physicality very well there to off-put the defender, but unable to beat the goalie in that current moment. But yeah, guys, it would have been goal. It would have been good. He looks to score it. Yeah, Frank, that's what you think, Cunha scoring the first goal? Let's see, let's see. I think it's going to be Bruno. And you know what? I think it could be Bruno. Oh, Ahmad loses the ball there. There's an overload. There's an overload. Watch it, watch it. Good defending there. Corner to Fulham. Ahmad coming back there. and making a defensive stop after losing the ball poorly in that position there. But well, good effort by Ahmad to come back and sort the threat out for the mistake that he made as well, clearing up all checks and balances there with a very, very good tackle defensive block in that moment. Yeah, we will take that. We need that kind of fighting spirit, broski. Good to see it. Good to see it, Ahmad. Good to see it. More. We want more. Yeah. Don't lose the ball next time. But we want more. We want more. We definitely want more of that energy. Good clearance on the header there. Shot comes in. Safe from Bayern there. Bruno unable to keep it from going out for another corner, but well saved there by Bayern there. That low shot coming through sneakily from the nephew of, the great footballer. He's not as great, but he's a good player, nevertheless. You know what I mean? Come on, Bayern there. Well done, Calvin Shatty. Headed it away. Well done, well done, Bayern there, making yourself big. Put it, you know, getting yourself there as well. I think he might have gotten a glove to that, even though he was off balance, but it came off. No, go! Well defended header there to head it off for Calvin Bassi, big nut, bro. Well done, doggo. Well done. Well done. Well done. That's what we're talking about. Solidarity in defense, fellas. Guys, we're seeing a good performance here so far. We haven't gotten the goal, but we have been that team that taking the initiative. And what I can tell you is it will pay off. It will pay off. Anana is seeing the end. That is what he's seeing there. He is seeing the end in buying there. Because buying there is pulling off some saves in this game here. If Man United go on to win it, I would say would certainly put him in line to start the following game. It could be long a season for Andre Onana if Bayern there keeps this up. And with the incoming Saint Laments, hey, things could be getting very interesting. Interesting, guys. Man United is still on the ball here. Dogu plays it back to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw plays it down to Delit. Where's Steve? I thought I sent him the link. Before I sent Steve the link. Luke Shaw almost loses out there. He plays a suicide pass back to Bayern there. What kind of crazy nonsense was that from Luke Shaw, guys? Guys, I don't know about you, but that nonsense from Luke Shaw just now was crazy. I cannot believe he played that pass back to Bayern there, bro. That was wild. He almost gave the oncoming attacker an assist pass. Well cleared there by Luke Shaw. Fulham are starting to get themselves settled in the game. But of course, Man United have been defensively solid from the start and remain that way. Another corner to Fulham, by the way, at the end of the day. Three corners of Fulham to one Manchester United corner. As you can see, some of the stats up there in the background. Of course, guys, as the game is going on, you let me know what you think about the little model lineup, how it looks. Ball back into the box, cleared by Amad Diallo just now. And then Bumo is fighting, and that's foul. He's fouled there by the Fulham player, but the referee lets his play on as both players was in a tussle. Man United win the ball back in midfield. Bruno Fernandes was fouled there. Man United plays on, but the referee stops the game. How is that not given a yellow card there? I cannot be lied. The player was not only late, he was sinister. He steps on the player's foot in completely and just puts his hands up like he knows he was making that mistake all along. Bruno almost released on goal, but it's well saved by himself. Fulham is on the attack in this current moment, but Man United have closed all the passing lanes, so they're looking for opening going all the way back. Ball tried to come to the midfield, ball over the top now to Sessegnon. Amad Diallo for company. Ball comes through the box, but well held by Bayern. Bayern looks pretty sharp today. His distribution seems to be very on point as well, I have to say. Casemiro taking the ball from Cunha there. Cunha might not have been too happy about it, but it settled the team down very well and allowed them to settle down into the basic setup better. Man United still in possession of the ball. We're enjoying a 54% majority to begin with, but that slowly has changed in the last couple of moments with the pressure from Fulham. But United still stringing together lots of nice passes here, circulating the ball well, taking their time, not rushing the game, playing at their pace. Of course, we did start off a little bit very aggressively, but I think as the game moves on, it's going to be a little bit different. And that has to be a yellow card, referee. That has to be a yellow card on Anderson this time. This is the third foul on Anderson, referee. He's dragging the players down. This is not football. This is not football, referee. Cunha, you need to calm down. Cunha is not at all happy by the treatment of the referee. Throw into Fulham, deep in their own half, as Brimo lost out to Calvin Bassey on the wing there. Ball going out of play off from Bumo. Wild clearance attempted, but Dorgu wins the header. Does it fall? It falls. It falls nicely to Mbuma in the box. But just one fit out muscle by Calvin Bassey, who plays the ball out. And United have a throw in that they take. They were about to take it quickly, but Amad Diallo holds on to the ball. He's assessing the options, seeing what's the best opportunity. Plays the ball in, he receives it back, plays the ball into, out to Casemiro, to Bruno, leaves alone for Luke Shaw, comes down the left side. Luke Shaw plays it back to Bruno now, out to Luke Shaw, plays the ball to Casemiro, ball goes back to De Ligt, who plays it all the way back to Luke Shaw, coming forward now, goes back to De Ligt. Referee is sneaky, weird, yeah. Then Euro is on the ball right now in this moment as he comes forward, venturing past the half line, plays it back to De Ligt, sprays it out to Luke Shaw on the left. Luke Shaw taking his time, plays it back to De Ligt, plays it back to Lenny Euro, who dumps it off for Casemiro, who leaves it off for Cunha, brings it back off to him, back to Luke Shaw. Nice spirit of passing play here from United. It's not really about going forward in this moment, but maintaining possession and creating options and passing lanes that almost released Almad on the wing there, but of course, a little bit too far ahead of the young Ivorian attacker. Now the ball is with the goalkeeper of Fulham in the box as he stands over it, and he picks it up finally. And now he throws it out to Calvin Bassey, who's being pressed by Mbumo, who gets a touch to the ball and forces Calvin Bassey to dump it off. Ball over the top. Header one. Whoa. Shot blocked there by Matthias, by Casemiro. I would say something pretty so far. It's been a pretty decent showing from Man United. Of course, Fulham is at home. We expected them to settle themselves and get themselves into the game. They're no team to sniff on. But at the same time, Man United have been doing such a good job so far to deal with the pressure and deal with the trouble. Of course, Len Euro did recovering the pass that came in, by foul by Calvin Bassey on Mbumo, called by the referee. Man United have a free kick. And the ball is with Luke Shaw. What are your thoughts so far on the first 15 minutes of Manchester United's performance so far, guys? Of course, this is what I was thinking. Fulham are very average, and they're needing the referee's assistance to keep themselves into the game. You know what I mean? But other people might not see it that way, bro. You know what I'm saying, Jack Reacher? But we seem to think alike in a lot of things, my brother. Because I think United, should have had some fouls called in this game that would have given us some close call free kicks, but we haven't gotten them yet. Let's see. Man United is still on the ball in this moment as the possession stats continue to rise in our favor. No, no rush. Patiently building, looking for the openings to attack is the current Man United performance right now as we see foul on Amad Diallo by Sessegnon. When is the referee going to call a foul, to be honest? It's really interesting. It's really interesting, guys. This referee has not given a yellow card, and it's been some barges in this game so far. It's interesting, you know, that he's letting it go to this extent. I mean, if it were United, would he call it? Man United wins the ball back in midfield. Now the ball is with Ahmad off to Bruno, who puts the ball over the top for Dorgu. Just a little, Dorgu gave up a little too soon, in my honest opinion. There, he could have easily got to that. It was literally a few feet in front of him, but he stopped running. I don't understand why. Amarim and all seems to be confused why Dorgu stopped running for that ball. And ball one back from the lit in the midfield. Ahmad is on it, plays the pass back to Euro, who plays it back out to him as he gets himself onto a wing position. He's waiting for players to play into the game. Plays the ball back again. Euro back to Delit. Delit now to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw plays it up to Bruno, plays it back to him. Dorgu loses out to Sessegnon. To Tete, as I mean. Casemiro was fouled, not given. Casemiro was fouled by Lukic there, but that was not given. That's crazy. Fulham on the ball at this current moment, going all the way back to their defense, being pressed by the Man United midfield. It's not as easy as it was to run through Man United, and Fulham are realizing that very much so blatantly as they find lots of difficulty in advancing through the middle against Manchester United. Foul by Fulham player again. Diego Lukic again fouling Dorgu there, but crying for a foul on himself. It's really wild, you know, really wild. I don't understand these guys. You know what I mean, fellas? You foul a player, but then you cry for a foul. Some of these players, they're interesting. They're really, real interesting characters. Binder distributes the ball up to Mpumo. Ball cleared. Ball one back in midfield. Foul by Mason Mount there. A little bit of frustration losing out there just now. Come on, Man United, says Jack. You can get above these average players. It's a fact. I think this team could definitely they can go up another level. Manchester United needs to go up another level. We have been solid defensively throughout this game. I have to say, we have been creating some chances, but not enough. Since we had that last few stints in front of goal, it's kind of we've not been unable to get a shot off. So, you know, yeah, we need to get on it. Wake up, guys! Wake up! Sorry, wake up! We're into Man United as Man United regain possession of the ball. This referee is not seeing some of these Fulham fouls. These Fulham players are just pulling these Man United players down from behind, and the referee's just watching like normal days. It's all good. Cunha plays the ball to Lenioro, comes forward driving, plays a pass to Ahmad. Ahmad plays it back to Euro, who plays it forward now to Cunha, and Cunha takes on Calvin Bassi, plays it into Casemiro, brings it back to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw plays it forward to Mason Mount, who leaves it through for Bruno Fernandes, who's into the box, comes across. Well defended by Fulham there, and it will go out for Man United corner. Ah, that was almost Cunha's first goal right there. Bruno Fernandes looking to serve up his Brazilian counterpart in the middle of the box to open the scoring for Man United. Corner to be taken by Bruno Fernandes as he's over the ball. The Portuguese MarkN will he put this one? Will Man United be golden? And it comes off the header. It back into the box. Headed clear. Headed clear. Oh, it falls to Mbumo, who plays it back to Bruno on the wing, who plays it into the box. Back to Bruno. To Mbumo. A little bit too far ahead. Won by Castagne, who's coming forward now, trying to initiate a counter-attack. But Man United press is in their way, slowing it down considerably, allowing Man United to recover their defensive posture. And of course, well, Fulham is still on the ball, trying to inch their way forward. Amad Diallo winning the ball there back for Man United, playing it back to Lenioro as he looks for options. Behind there, clearing it long. It goes above to the half line. Cunha gives chase. Fulham goalkeeper lands, clears it in equal respect. No options available for him. Dogu fouled there again by Lukic, by Castagne, who is frustrated that the big up to Admiral Drex in the building. What's good, broski? The link is in the chat if you want to come in and join, broski. Mount causing some problems in the box just now there, saying that he was fouled, checking for a possible penalty on the Fulham player right now, guys. This is where it's going right now. Let's see if Man United are awarded a penalty in this game. VAR check ongoing. And it looks like Mason Mount was dragged down. It looks like Mason Mount was dragged down by Calvin Bassi. And it looks like it will be a penalty to Manchester United. It looks like it will be a penalty awarded to Manchester United as Calvin Bassi drags Mason Mount and swings him around like a rag doll in the box. and it's going to be a penalty as the referee watches the monitor. He is swung around like a rag doll. It has to be a penalty given here. If the referee gives anything other than a penalty, I think he would be cheating. I think it's definitely a penalty. He's swung around like it's a kung fu fighting trick. This is not football, guys. Penalty awarded. There's nothing the referee can do about this other than award a penalty. And he put penalty for sure. And it's a pen to Manchester United on Calvin Bassey. And thank you. Finally, the referee has responded to all the extreme physicality from the Fulham players because they are being outclassed in this current moment of the game. And guys, what can I say? If you do the crime, you got to be prepared to do the time, guys. You know how it goes. Man United can't always be the only team punished for mistakes. You must punish everyone else equally and fairly. And Mason Mount was dragged around like, Calvin Bassey think he was a female dance partner. I don't understand what's going on there. You know what I'm saying, guys? He can have no complaints. Bruno Fernandez steps over the penalty. Of course, St- Stel, the goalkeeper, is a good goalkeeper, but it's Bruno. Looks like it's gonna be Bruno, guys. What did I tell you? Let's see if the Portuguese Magnifico can get the ball in the back of the net. Bruno missed. Oh my goodness, Bruno missed. Fuck. What? Nah. What is this? No, man, Bruno. Jesus. Ah, shit. That was shitty. Can't believe Bruno missed that big opportunity there, bro. That sucks. That's a bit deflating, guys. Bruno missing the penalty there. There's going to be lots of people to talk about bad things Bruno's done. Maybe they would have said they should have given someone else the penalty to take. But it's Mason Mount here. And Bumo. Oh, he's just losing out there. But one back by Casemiro, who is also fouled by Iwobi. But it's judged to be Casemiro. Casemiro given a yellow card. What? That is wild. That is wild. They say Casemiro was faking. Hmm. Wow. Interesting yellow card for Casemiro to be given there. Well saved by Bayern there. Ooh, and he will be flying to the post. The lit. I think Iwobi's done for today, guys. No, he's not done. He's getting up. But he did crash into the signboard pretty hard, guys. That was Bruno Fernandez must be feeling the thing on his shoulder right now. He could have placed that ball anywhere, but he placed it into into the parking lot of the Fulham Stadium. You know what I mean? And now Man United face a corner, and they face the corner. Ball goes out for a goal kick. Man United is on the ball again after that penalty miss. Guys, I've been a bit deflated. I expected Bruno to score, but we move, guys. It's 0-0 still. All to play for. Mason Mount steps over. Dorgu under chase. Dorgu he plays in Mason Mount, gets Bruno onto the ball, plays in Luke Shaw, back to Mason Mount, up forward to Dorgu, back to Luke Shaw, guys. Bruno deep as he looks for options. The ball picked from Bruno's pocket there by the striker, by Muniz, and it's a throw in as Bruno clears up. That referee is sneaky, bro. That referee is sneaky. He threw off Bruno there, really. He did that purposely to throw Bruno off, you know what I mean? But what can I say? That yellow card to Casemiro was a joke. That was definitely a joke. Well cleared by Delit there, throw into Fulham. Ball staying on the pitch, giving Man United players time to get them defensive shape back up. Ball played in. Defended by Mason Mount and Dorgu. Foul called on Mason Mount. Free kick to Fulham. Tough times, guys. Tough times and tough decisions. Oh, trying for the theatrical there from Munaiz, but failed. Fell flat on his back. Clearance from the lid there. Big clearance, bro. Munaiz is offside there as well. High boot. Luke Shaw winning possession back there in midfield. Bruno helping it on there, but no one there to pick up the loose ball. In possession of Iwobi at Fulham. And the ball come forward. Man United able to plug up all of the passing lanes as the ball comes over the top. Dorgu with a mistimed clearance as he allows the play to continue. Ball gets in. Chance comes here. Cross comes in. Clearance from Amad Diallo. Missed kick by Mbumo. Missed time clearance there. Ball comes back into the box off the head of Amad Diallo, who does not miss his opportunity to get something on the ball there, showing his defensive work ethic very well in this first half, I have to say. He has not been lacking on the defensive side today. Sanderberg across, failing to get into the box. Sanderberger looking like he was run ragged by the Man United midfield this first half. Corner came in, well defended by Manchester United. Throw in there. Punch comes in. Was the goalkeeper sideswiped by one of the Fulham players just then? It looks like one of the Fulham players took a swipe at Bayern there just now. And the Man United get the ball finally clear up to the half line. Amad Diallo gives chase. Ball goes all the way back to Sell as Cunha applies some pressure. Sell clears the ball back upfield. Header well met by Len Euro. Again, referee! Foul after foul. No yellow card given. Two players fouled. Bruno Fernandes as well as Mason Mount fouled in two separate incidents. There's no yellow cards to be given. No, nothing. What is going on? Casemiro, the only player in this game with a yellow card for not even making a bad tackle on a player, for play acting. And the first half comes to an end. It's 0-0. And I guess the talking point is the Bruno penalty miss, guys. Chris Kavanagh is the referee. Everybody get the down, says my boy Jack Reacher in the building. Guys, not at all. Not at all a bad start to the game against Fulham. We should have been 1-0 up. Poor penalty taken by Bruno Fernandes with the miss, but the Portuguese Magnifico, he usually scores them all. You know, it's almost a guaranteed goal, except not this Sunday. It will be interesting to see what goes on in the second half, but what we can say is Man United have certainly caused them problems. They had certainly had multiple opportunities. Fulham, very, very aggressive, very physical in the game today. I'm not too sure if the referee has ref the game at all fairly. I think Fulham players should be on yellow cards for some of their tackling, repeated offenses, and none of them have been looked into by the referee. Maybe things will change in the second half. But of course, that big moment, the penalty shout and the penalty miss from Bruno Fernandes, of course, the scoreline 0-0 as Man United still look for that opening goal against Fulham as we look to secure 3 points in match week 2 of the Premier League. Guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Of course, it's going to be an interesting one. Let's get the debate started. What are you saying, guys? What are your thoughts so far on Man United's first half performance? You know what I mean? I think it was pretty decent. I think we could have done a lot better in some moments. I think we should be up at least by 2 goals. The post denying Matthias Cunha, and of course, Bruno kicking over bars. You know, what can we say, guys? You know, I think it's a performance that we all expected. I can't say that, we could have, I mean, what can I say? You know, I expected to see more goals in the first half. I predicted a 5-1 scoreline. Maybe all those goals come in the second half. It's going to be interesting to see if it happens then. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's weird. Fulham foul, a lot of Manu get the yellow. It's weird, and it's not even for a foul on a player. You know what I mean? It's wild. So it's one thing to see, like, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, you know, Man United will will be, strictly reviewed by the referee. Of course, the penalty miss did not help anything. And of course, that yellow card is going to make things difficult in the second half. Of course, could we do better in the second half and come out with a performance that will secure this win? I expect that, guys. From the first half performance, Man United should have at least been 2 goals ahead. But it's an interesting one. Let's see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I seen this a lot too, bro. I seen this a lot too. Yo, it's wild. It's wild. Not at all the best first half, not at all the worst first half. You know what I mean? It's interesting. It's a bit of a wild one, yeah? Bit of a wild one. But let me see what you guys are saying. You know, I'm telling you, bro, the referee's funny in this game, bro. It's like they're not even. I don't understand. Calvin Bassey didn't even get a yellow card. Oh, even some of the commentators laughing at it and stuff. But what can I say, guys? Everton with a double, Grealish inspired. Grealish having a big game at Everton. Everton doing the number over Brighton. It was an interesting game. Not only that, but our very own James Garner scoring the winner. Well, our former James Garner doing the business, getting the job done for the Toffees against the Seagulls. Yeah, Brighton, you deserve that loss, guys. I heard that our target was hooked at halftime because he had a stinker. I can't really agree with that or say that it happened because guess what, guys? I didn't watch the Brighton game, to be honest. I will watch it back later on. But yeah, so I've heard. You know what I mean? It will be interesting to see how the game moves forward, guys, of course. Yeah, it's interesting times. Interesting times. Interesting times, guys. Interesting times. Mm. Wow. Felt a little bit deflated, I can't lie, guys. When Bruno missed that penalty, I was like, what the is happening with this game? This used to be where we take the lead, we go 1-0 up, we celebrate into the half. You know what I'm saying? That was wild. A wild moment. But so it goes sometimes. So it goes. Stressing. Of all the weekend games, I mean, maybe we are leaving it late, guys. Maybe we're going to leave a blockbuster second half where we score 5 goals, Tesco hat trick. Who knows? But you know what? I believe we're leaving here with 3 points today. I believe that. And Wednesday, guys, don't forget, we're going to be live. Carabao Cup second round, Man United versus Grimsby Town. Your boy MarkN will be bringing you the live. Never fear, it will be there. Interesting times. How does Bruno miss that, guys? I can't believe it. Maybe they move Bruno from penalty duty. But guys, players are pretty weird about those things. When you interrupt their run up, you throw them off. The referee's doing crazy things. It's wild. It's off-putting. But Bruno, as a captain, you gotta be bigger in the moments. You gotta put that away. You know what I mean? You gotta keep it simple. I won't lie though, Man United looking hella good in this first half. All the best chances of the game coming from Manchester United. Cunha there coming very close, hitting the post. That's all was standing between Cunha and his first goal. The goalkeeper was beaten completely, left in no man's land, looking on in dismay. And of course, the second opportunity being saved. Cunha again, from the long pass from Bayern there, who I would have said would have been a fine assist. You know what I mean? 1, 2, bang. But it wasn't to be. Maybe he snatched at it. Maybe he could have taken it down and put it and slotted it the left side of the goalkeeper. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. The second half, I expect to see better from Man United, and I expect to see a performance that we're going to be proud of. And of course, guys, I expect to see Man United score some ultimate goals today. Benjamin Sesko will be playing. And of course, I expect the big man to put on a show today. You know what I'm saying, guys? I'm looking forward to that moment. That's the highlight of this game for me. And of course, I expect us to score some goals. 3 points. We must get it. At all costs, guys. We must get 3 points today. You know what I mean? As you can see the stats there, guys. Man United performance so far. 52% possession, expected goals 1.31 opposed to Fulham 0.83. Of course, six total shots. Fulham had a total of nine. But Man United created two big chances, so did Fulham so far as well. But I would say Man United enjoying large spells of possession, more momentum with the game. So far, it's been mostly Man United. So we can say that the performance against Arsenal in the opening game was not a fluke. It's something that is probably going to be the consistent for Man United this season because we have seen it again, similar stats, similar possession stats. Man United showing that they will maintain the higher amounts of possession, of course, and we're seeing that we're creating chances going along with them. So far, so good. Let's see what the second half bring, guys. Of course, let's hear what your opinions are. I'm waiting to see if my guys are going to come in the background. Let me just check in and see where they're at. Yeah, guys. Anyway, but the interesting thing is we'll see how Man United improve as the second half goes on. Of course, I expect Man United to show a step up in their performance as we chase that goal. It's definitely going to be something that Man United will be focusing on. If we have a quick start as what we had in the first half, I expect us to get an early lead. And of course, I expect us to not only get an early lead, but to double up on that lead as well. We need to kill teams off. This is a facet that the Man United team must display this season. So it's something I hope to see. And judging from that performance, I'm expecting a goal in the first 5 minutes of the second half. I don't know about everyone else, but that's just my prediction so far. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. One of the interesting questions I would like to all to ask is who thinks Sesko is going to come on before the 65th minute, and who thinks he's going to come on after the 65th minute? Get it in the chat, guys. Let me know. And if you're not in the live, get in the non-live section. And if you can, smash a like, share it around, help your boy channel grow. The road to 5K is here. Of course, I'm only on 1.7, but you got to aim high. You can't just try to do the normal thing. You know what I mean? So guys, keep smashing the likes, keep sharing it around. Let's get to 2,000 subs and on to 3,000 in the next coming days. That's the word, guys. That's the movement. Hashtag Red Devil Mode everywhere you go, guys. You know what it is. Oh, I'm so, guys. I don't know. It's haunting me that Bruno missed, guys. It's really haunting me. It's haunting that. Oh man, pretty haunting that Bruno missed, guys. Hmm. But what are you guys saying? Anyone disappointed with the selection? Anyone disappointed with anything about the performances so far? I can't really pick out a player who was really not performing well in the first half. I mean, even though Bruno had that miss, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, if you understand what I mean, guys. You know what I mean? The game is about to begin as the players are back out on the pitch. Let's go, Reds. Let's go, Reds. Let's see what Bruno Fernandes and the Man United gang have to offer in this second half, guys. Last and only penalty miss of the season. Need Sesko to come on now, says Frankie. Glory, glory, Man United. I hear you, brother. I hear you. I agree. And the teams have switched sides, and the second half has been resumed, and Man United is back on the attack with Mbumo. The team remains unchanged for the start of second half, guys. The team remains unchanged for the second half. And we had already had an attack on goal from Man United and somewhat of a counter from Fulham, unsuccessfully. Man United clears. Calvin Bassey and Ahmad Diallo. Ahmad nicks the ball, but Bassey remains in control. Loses his shoe in the process. Not the warmest experience walking on bare grass after you just use your shoe. Man United come forward with Bruno, plays it forward to Mbumo, back to Bruno in the midfield, sprays it out to Mason Mount. Mason Mount gets on the motorbike, out to the wing. Dogu, as he looks for a pass into the box, ball comes into the box, deflected off a Fulham player, and it's a corner for Manchester United. Will this be the first goal for Man United in this game? I expect this to be the first goal. It's going to be coming as Man United prepares for a corner against Fulham. Yes, guys, I'm eating potato chips. If you want some, yeah, have one. Man United prepare for the corner. About to be delivered by the skipper. Can he redeem himself with a swing in swinger? Clear away only to Amad Diallo. Brings it down. Mason Mount. Back to Amad Diallo. Comes in. Oh, shot saved by Sell. But doesn't hold on to the ball. And it goes out for a throw into Man United. Maintain pressure and maintain possession of the ball. The shot from Amad Diallo, pretty interesting strike. All very difficult, but stopped by Sell by a good reactive save. And Brumo fouled. Nothing by the referee. Cunha wins the ball back. Casemiro loses out. Ahmad wins the ball and sends it into touch for into Fulham. Ball in the midfield. Luke Shaw is pressing well. Ball comes off him all the way back to defense. Calvin Bassey just getting the ball off to Owobi. Owobi now driving forward to the Man United box, playing it out to the wing. Back to Owobi. Owobi plays the ball over the top. Cleared by the lit. Ahmad losing out, but the ball won back by Casemiro. Not fully cleared, but now cleared all the way up the field into the Fulham half and out for Fulham throw-in. Man United can now regroup. Ball back in play. Cunha would initiates the press. Mason Mount follows. Casemiro losing out there in the challenge. Bruno covering the midfield area as it will be drives forward. Amad Diallo a little bit tucked in as the ball comes in. Clearance there. Bruno recovers in the box just to keep it away from Iwobi. Ball out now with Sanderberg as he plays it back out to Sessegnon. Back to Sanderberger. Bassi, Iwobi, Castagne. Back to the following wing. Ball into the box, well defended there by Matthias de Ligt. Matthias de Ligt is showing a very big defensive wait, no, that was Luke Shaw. Good performance. And substitutions at the ready, and it looks like Diego Dallo and Benjamin Sesko are being readied by the manager to make their entrance into this game. And of course, Jack Reacher, you've called it. Benjamin Sesko is about to come on. As the manager looks to change things slightly. Goal kick to Man United. Clearance taken. Ahmad is removed for Diego Dallo, and Casemiro is being removed for Benjamin Sesko. It looks like it will be Mason Mount in the midfield alongside Bruno Fernandes for the second half of this game. What do you guys think about the substitutions? Was Amarin right, or will he be proved to be right about those substitutions? The ball played into Benjamin Sesko up front. He just loses out there. Oh, wait, that was Matthias Cunha. My bad. Benjamin Sesko looking for his first action in the game. Well tackled there by Lenny Euro to save it. And Diego Dallo, what have you done? What have you done, Diego? Tried to do it a little too pretty, bro. Well defended there by Lenny Euro again against King. He's been dominant for the entire course of this match so far. Showing his advancement into the Premier League. The young centre back from that came in from Lens last summer for Manchester United. Clearance from behind there. Played back into poor clearance there by Delit. But Luke Shaw gets his head to it and it goes out for a throw into Fulham. Cross comes into the box, passes everyone and goes out for a throw in all the way to the other side to Manchester United. Diogo Dallo makes a throw in to Benjamin Sesko, plays it back to Delit. Delit frees up Luke Shaw, sprays the ball out to Dorgu. Back to Luke Shaw, who mistimes that challenge and it goes out for a corner to Fulham. Pass from Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is looking kind of stinky the second half, guys. He needs to get himself into the game. And saved, well defended and saved and held by the defender and the goalkeeper. Man United comes out with the ball. Diego Dallo. Ball now with Bruno as he sends everyone forward. Bruno drops back deep. Luke Shaw looking long for Mbumo. Calvin Bassi gets a head to it, but it's now at the feet of Benjamin Sesko, who plays it out to Dorgu, gives it back to Cunha, plays a ball out to Diego Dallo on the wing. Diego Dallo looks for the pass into the box, and his cross is cleared out for a corner. Manchester United have a corner, and it's Lenny Yoro. Man United, Man United go 1-0 up from the corner, guys. Sorry, my feed just glitched. It rolled forward 10 seconds, and Lenny Euro putting in the goal. Man United 1, Fulham 0. Lenny Euro with a header. Lenny Euro, first scorer of the day. Lenny Euro gets in, and Man United take the lead finally. 1-0, guys. 1-0. Lenny Euro. We have Lenny Euro. Yeah, you don't know we are Lenny Euro, guys. And he been good all game. Wow. Some people thought it would have been Bumo. Some people thought it would have been Cunha. Some people thought it would have been Bruno. But it's Lenny Euro. Euro. Tora, says Jack Reacher in the building. Big up to Frankie, Glory, Sesko, Man United in the building as Lenny Euro rises and glances that header. It comes off the back of Munaiz, but he glances it nevertheless. And wrong sides the keeper. Court assist goes out to Brian and Mbumo. And it's 1-0 Man United. Man United are in the lead. And now it's for Fulham to chase. And with Benjamin Sesko on the pitch, with Benjamin Sesko there, it's going to be difficult for them to chase the game. And it's given as a Munai's own goal. Who knows? It's given as a Munai's own goal, guys. Shockingly. Man United back on the ball in midfield there. Sesko looking for a break. Dogu looking for options inside as he works his man on the wing. Plays it out to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw back to Dogu. Back to Luke Shaw. Plays it into Bruno. Bruno plays it into Mason Mount. And it's Lenny Euro sending the ball all the way forward. And it's Diego Dallo in space. Diego Dallo is in space. His crossing is not the best. His passing was not one of the best. He was heavily challenged there, but unluckily for him. Well tackled there by Lenny Euro. Well tackled there by Lenny Euro. Fulham still protesting, but the referee's having none of it. Fulham for the championship, says Jack Reacher. Big up to you, my brother. Fulham has the ball. Ball comes into the box. And Munez with the header all the way over the bar. Not at all, not at all nice. Not at all handsome. Always looking horribly misplaced. Then you'll get all ball there. All ball there. Some of the player, of course, but he's having a good game. He's mustard right now. Anything goes. You know what I'm saying, guys? Anything goes. Mustard. You can't fault Lenny Euro in this current moment. He's having a very good game. Double substitution coming in from Fulham as Anthony Robinson makes his entrance into the game. We all know Anthony Robinson. He's a bombing type fullback. Gets himself forward. And it comes at the expense of Sessegnon. and Castagne, and we see the entrance of Wilson and Robinson. I don't know this Wilson kid, so I can't say too much about him. But what I can tell you is Benjamin Sesko is there, and the goal is coming for Man United. Man United win the ball back in midfield. Luke Shaw plays it to Benjamin Sesko, who sets Dorgu free. Dorgu back to Mason Mount, all the way back to Bayern there. Plays the ball back to Luke Shaw. The ball runs short. Luke Shaw waiting there in no man's land, allowing the defender to steal it from him in that moment. But the ball goes out of play for Fulham throw-in. Luke Shaw, get off the bento, Sprusky. Eat the potato chips for guys like me who ain't playing football. And it's a Man United throw-in, well defended there by Dorgu and Wilson, keeping him from making any advancement with the ball and winning a throw-in off him. Oh man, they're gonna try to say all kind of things, but it's already past the mark. It's already a goal. It's off the back of Munai's from the head of Lenny Yoro. Anthony Robinson calling for the ball as he comes in with a newfound energy to try to energize this Fulham team. Sesko wins the ball, gives it off to there, but poor pass from Cunha there. Expecting Sesko to be bursting through ahead of him. Well tackled by Bruno. Oh, cheeky from Bruno there. Gets the ball up to Benjamin Sesko, who plays it back to him. Was fouled in the process. Ball kept in play by Diego Dallo, but said to be a throw-in as the ball went out of play. Sesko was fouled there just now. Why is that not considered? I don't understand. The ball went out of play there, throw-in to Man United. United successfully solidifying their defense, keeping Fulham away from getting any passing lanes into the box or to a threat on goal. Interesting. Well intense performance from Man United so far for the first 65 minutes of today's game. Can't say we have seen a hard-working team that has been creating chances and playing very well in defensive movements as well. Sesko comes forward with the ball. He brings it out to Dog, whose touch fails him, but such a hard luck. It's not, you know what I mean? Why would he take it down like that, though? I mean, should have chopped it. Luke Shaw trying to win the ball there, but fouling the Fulham player in the process. Free kick to Fulham. Man United have been very aggressive in winning the ball in and around the half line all game, very successfully in this game so far. You know what I mean? Creating lots of problems for this Fulham team, not allowing them to get into their stride or settled in any way, shape, or form. Little mix up defensively there, allowing Fulham to get through, but ball won back by Diego Dallo, who inadvertently sets Mbumo on the ball, who's driving forward now, plays it to Bruno Fernandes, who switches the play out It goes to Sesko, who doesn't get onto it, but Cunha tries to make it. Tackle comes in from wild tackle comes in there from the Fulham player. Luke Shaw does enough there to close the play down and make a defensive possession in midfield, putting the play out for a throw-in. I guess it's a Man United throw-in. Throw-in loses out. Cunha fouls in the process. Well defended there by Bruno, seeing the danger in the run made by King. Should have been offside, but it's a corner to Fulham. Let's see how this goes. And Ugarte set to make his appearance into today's game. Not sure for who he will be coming on for. I'm thinking it might be Luke Shaw. I'm not too certain, but I have a sneaky feeling it could be Luke Shaw. Sneaky attempt there by Iwobi, but it goes all the way over the bar. Not at all threatening to the goalkeeper or the goal. Well defended by Man United, which is the story of today's performance so far. Replacing Mason Mount, actually, is Manuel Ugarte. I'm not sure if for this one time I'm going to say I like this move, but Mason Mount has been very, very active, pressing. He has done a lot of running in the midfield today that has, given Man United a platform to work from. He's actually carried the engine in the midfield while coming on for Casemiro, but a little bit more bite needed now. And Ugarte comes into the pitch, someone who's probably going to be a little bit more physical. Cunha just losing, Sesko just losing where the ball went just now there. Man United maintain possession, however, as the ball goes to Altai Bayern there. Picks the ball up, and of course, gets the play restarted, throwing it out to Luke Shaw on the left side. Luke Shaw now looking and assessing his options. Where is he going to place his next pass? And he switches the play all the way to Diego Dallo, who brings it long, takes it back, sends it off to Lenny Euro, who sends it forward to looking for Mbumo, finding difficulty, but uh finding finding Ugarte just losing out there, but Man United winning the throw-in successfully. Bruno and Mbumo is seemingly the main outlet when United need to get the ball into the midfield and out from the defense. In today's game, it also was very similar when he came into the second half of the game when he started the last game as well. It's one of those things. My two substitutions coming: Raul Jimenez and Smith Rowe for King and Munaiz, as Fulham makes another double change in this game. Let's go on to the ball now. Plays it off to Bruno Fernandes, off to Mbumo, Luke Shaw to Cunha, Cunha to Luke Shaw to Dorgu, Cunha providing some assistance there for Dorgu, back to Dorgu, Dorgu to Luke Shaw to Cunha, but playing the ball all the way out of possession there was Luke Shaw. Wayward pass from him, not at all what he expected or was intended by the player. I'm sure he intended to hit his marker, but he was unable to do so. Man United pressing as Fulham tried to find a way out from their defense. Fulham is on the attack and it's cleared by Manchester United. Iwobi with the cross. And it's 1-1. Smith Rowe, equalizer for Fulham. Man United caught out there, losing their marker. And Smith Rowe with the equalizer. Wasn't that offside though, guys? That looked like it was a bit offside there. That looked seriously offside. He wasn't. The little somebody lost their man. Luke Shaw. But that's a high boot as well, though, man. I mean, wild. Man United come forward again as they look for another goal to take to bring them back into lead after conceding that equalizer so abruptly to Fulham. Iguodala switches the play. Cunha is on the ball as he drives forward, plays Dogu in on the wing. Dogu looks for Bruno. Bruno back to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw to Delit. Delit to Lenny Euro. Comes forward into the play. He's stepping into midfield heavily. Gate. Gate finds Luke Shaw, who plays in Dogu. Dogu beats his man, but is fouled, grabbed in the face by the player. That should be a red card. At the very least, it should be a red card. That's that at the very least. You grab a player by the face. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. How is that not a yellow card to the player? That is unbelievable. It's unheard of that is not given as a yellow card. He pretty much slapped Dogu across the face. How is that not a yellow card? I don't even know. Man United with the free kick. Ball into the box. Sesko keeping it alive. Comes off a Euro. Foul on Diego Dallo in the box, who gets kicked in the back of the leg. Fulham is on the attack. That equalizer certainly giving them some much needed energy. Ball across the box. Fulham maintaining possession right now. Man United steadily pressing. And these are the final moments here. Who wants it more? Will it be Fulham or Man United? Of course, we expect it to be Man United. No, that's we will be speaking on that foul there. You cannot grab a player by the face. That is unheard of. That he wasn't given a yellow card for that offense. Coming close there, but offside. Offside by the Fulham players. Completely offside. This is getting really a little bit disgraceful now by the referee. Clearly not calling any fouls on Dorgu in this last moments of the second half. Treating Dorgu like he's play-acting currently in his battle with the Fulham player. It's wild. Very wild right now, guys. But hopefully Man United gets the job done. Of course, we still have enough time. There's still 12 minutes on the clock of regular time left to be played. And of course, there probably will be 2 to 3, possibly 4 minutes of extra time. Binder gets the play restarted. Lenny is at the foot of the ball. With the ball at his feet, sorry. Bruno coming forward on the ball as he plays it over on top, looking for Diego Dallo, who plays in now and Bumo back to Dallo. Dallo touched too heavy there and losing out to Calvin Bassey there. Come on, guys, get this ball to Sesko. I'm not seeing enough service to Sesko, guys. Come on. We have 10 minutes. Let's get our striker some service. Fulham probing Man United here, looking for an opportunity to strike. Man United well defended there. Dorgo a little bit lazy there. Fulham on the ball. Man United pressing. Dorgo losing out there on the edge of the box. Ball coming in. Man United well defended there. Man United win the ball back now. And they are coming forward. Cunha over the top to Bruno. A little bit too hot, lofted, a little bit too much, allowing the defender to close him down and receive possession. And it's a goal kick for Manchester United. Manchester United certainly need another goal. It's going to be very difficult if we don't secure another goal in this game, guys. I can't begin to say this. Man United need 3 points today, else it's going to be a very difficult situation facing Amarim. With the media, of course, we know how the media will be attacking Ruben Amarim every chance they get. They would be love it to criticize him for not achieving a win tonight. and we cannot allow that, guys. So Man United needs to get their job done. They have little under 9 minutes left in regular time. We must get that second goal. Game quickly restarted by Bruno Fernandes. Bruno to Euro. Euro to Mbumo. Mbumo turns into the midfield. M- Almost muscled out of it, but Cunha saving the play. Man United maintain possession. Luke Shaw is on the ball. Most of the midfield problems coming from Cunha, Mapuka Puka, if you look at it, because he not really moving much, you know. But since Ugarte come on, it's not been too great, to be honest. But it's what at this point in the game is coming to the end. A lot of guys tired legs on the field at the moment as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't say the midfield is so bad. I could say it's not. I can't even say it's not the best. It's just, I mean, it wasn't. It was average. Where's that with Sanderberger there? Sanderberger diving for comedy roles, or the midfield are two number 10s in it, and they are not. They wasn't here last season, so we can't keep complaining about the midfield when, yeah, it's weird. All out to Mbumo and he's fouled by Calvin Bassey. He's fouled by Calvin Bassey, and the referee says no. And then you should be blaming Amarim for that, Emma Puka Puka. What you say? I wouldn't even say playing a masterclass. Bassey was done point. He playing shit whole game, bro. He should be on a yellow card, if not. That surely, referee, surely. And this is the story of the game today. All these fouls from Fulham that have not been given yellow card. This guy Lukic been committing fouls all game. This is not the first yellow card he's supposed to have. He's supposed to be going into a red card with this offense. Look at Bassi there. Bassi trip up and Bumo there. He makes sure and stick his foot wide there to trip him up inside his step. It was never about tackling the ball. Finally, Edra Creature. Finally, after all the fouls, all the poor tackles, even this guy Wilson slapped Dorgu in his face. The man face swollen across here now from the slap and didn't get a yellow card. It's wild. Euro comes off for Maguire. Eden Haven comes on to replace Luke Shaw as well. Double substitution from the manager. 5 substitutions used in this game so far. And of course, let's see if these substitutions bring Man United one step closer to 3 points in match week 2. Cunha comes forward with it on the wing. Ball goes into the box. Corner to Manchester United again. In swinger from looking to come in from Mbumo in this moment. And he find Benjamin Sesko or the head of Harry Maguire. Oh, and it was almost from the head of Harry Maguire, and it just goes wide outside of the post. Most picture perfect, most just on the outside of the post. But I mean, why do these guys don't let the ball drop more into the center of the box? It's so high. Sesko is at full jump and still can't even get onto it. Yeah. Bro, this is not rugby, bro. Yeah. I don't know what kind of strong you man need to be, but this is not rugby, bro. Was that a foul? How is that a foul on Dogu? This referees definitely don't like Dogu, guys. These referees have been targeting Dogu the entire game. The linesman and the ref. The entire game. They've targeted him. Free kick against Dogu again. Free kick to Fulham. Clearance by Bruno Fernandes. Into the part of Mbumo. He's trying to get onto it. Clearance made by Anton Robertson as he gets back with his pace. Everyone knows the kind of electric pace that he has. Dogu to make the throw in now. Yeah, the referee helping Fulham the whole game, bro. He not even hiding it anymore. Throwing into the box, not finding a Manchester United player. Ball recycled by onto the wing. Cross goes in to Dogu. Dogu heads it into the center of the box. What? What is that foul? What is that? What is that foul they call on the man? That is wild. Goal kick, Man United. Guys, I don't see us playing to the strengths of our current striker. I don't see it. I don't understand why we keep playing the ball to Dogu when he always getting called for a foul. Crossing. Ooh. Sesko just got the ball took off his head by the goalkeeper. Well saved there by the goalkeeper, denying the big man of his first goal of in his Manchester United career. Denying the big Sesko. Oh, can he get it? Can Man United sneak this win at the end of this game? We will be taking it however it comes, guys. In this current moment, throw in comes in, falls to a Man United player, and Dorgu just, yeah, too fast. Cycle, guys. Don't just kick the ball. Don't just rush. Don't just rush. You're supposed to touch it there. You're supposed to pass it to Cunha feet there, bro. Like, I don't know, sometimes Dogu, the gamers get too big for him, and when calls go against him, he start making real terrible decisions in a game. Wild. I don't understand why you would make that decision there. You have so many red shirts around, you just give it to one of them. There's no need for you to put the ball back there and possibly lose the play. There's no need for that. None. Amarim today, yeah, I don't know. And it's 1-1. The game ends, guys. 1-1 points shared. 1 point for Man United, as Bruno Fernandes undoubtedly will be the talk of the town after missing a penalty. And of course, Man United conceding a goal late, giving up 2 points to Fulham that we should not have gave up. But guys, sometimes this is how it goes. I think there's, different, maybe one or two different changes that could have been made that would have improved the midfield much differently or given us a different option. I think we have not played to the strengths of Benjamin Sesko. I'm not too sure what are we trying to do when he comes onto the pitch, because we don't seem to be playing to him as a focal point. The ball seems to be going to Mbumo or to Dorgu more than the ball is even going to Benjamin Sesko. And in a moment where Dorgu has been experiencing so many difficulties with the referee, I don't think he should be the focal point of the passing plays. I think that was a poor decision by the manager to continue playing Dorgu into the game. I think in the latter half of the game, there was repeatedly poor decision making from Dorgu, and other players. I just think that we could have done better, but it's disappointing. And the manager's substitutions, I can't fully say they have impacted the game or not in a realistic sense. We have the performance when it was not better when the players came in. It actually was a little bit chaotic, to be really honest. And I don't know if we're so focused on playing the ball we're so focused to playing the ball. I don't know if we're so focused on on passing every single thing through Brian and Bumo, or every single play going up the left to Dorgu, that we know we can change things up, try something differently. It's more of the same, repeated, just repeat. And of course, when a team gets used to that, you can get hurt like Fulham hurt us today. I think Ruben Amorim's tactics were a little bit suspect in the game today. I think he didn't really have much changes in the dynamism of the team. Of course, when you bring in Benjamin Sesko, there should be a change in the way we play that makes us a little bit different and more unpredictable. That brings him into the game. He's tried to get in the game. He had one or two moments, but again, a graveyard shift for a Man United striker, and it's unfathoming. It's like Ruben Amorim. My damning criticism of this game is like Ruben Amorim. He so wants to play with Mason Mount. When Mason Mount is not on the pitch, we don't really have a style. And that's my criticism, guys. And I will end it right here. Of course, the new show will be live tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Guys, join us live for the premiere recap. I announce it here. The premiere recap, your boy MarkN and some other fans from around, of course, like of Chelsea Dan. Of course, you will see your boy Tony Claude Gunner coming through to represent the Gunners. Of course, we will have Steve McCullough representing Strasbourg. Strasbourg Steve, the Newcastle fan, my brother from another mother as well. You know how it goes. Kemba Banks will be here as well. There will be interesting, new content coming through, guys. So, stay tuned. We'll be recapping the weekend tomorrow. And of course, we will be discussing anything that breaks later on and the confirmation of the signing of Sen Lamens. It was not good enough for Man United today. It should be better. And what can I say? I think the manager is more in question for the performance today. He didn't change things much. Of course, I think there's ways he could have changed things or made an impact or made things a little bit more, different for when Sesko came on, but he didn't, and it's not impressive. I have to say that, guys. It was a decent performance, very good first half, decent second half, but we faded away to the end of the game. And of course, the way they are playing, they're not playing for man. So we weren't looking like if we were playing better with Benjamin Sesko. In fact, we looked a little bit more chaotic when he came on the pitch. It's like Cunha and Mbumo don't know suddenly how to play with a striker ahead of them. So it's wild. Yeah. We don't need a ball controller in the midfield, broski. It's not the problem of the game today at all. That is definitely not the problem of today's game, bro. The problem of today's game is Brian and Bumo and Matthias Cunha. And as much as they did not do the best job in bringing in the other players into the team, you understand? So, I mean, I know you guys want to hype them for all the runs that they make and all the little moves that they make and all the little plays that they make, but at the end of the day, they're playing a 10 role. And in a 10 role, you have to bring players into the game. It's a creativity position. If you can't do the job, you have to help. You have to bring your teammates in to help and bring them into the game. And neither one of them brought Sesko into the game today. To be honest, let's be real. They won't try to play to his strengths. It didn't look like that, of course. So in more moments, even when Maguire came on, he was the target of the cross, not Benjamin Sesko. With a 6'5" striker, you're telling me that if Mbumo didn't put that cross to Benjamin Sesko instead of to Maguire, he wouldn't have headed into the back of the net. Come on, Mapuka Puka, bro. You can't keep blaming the midfield problems that are not happening in the midfield. The problem happening up front. This is why we're not scoring goals. The midfield has been good for 78 minutes. And, blame the midfield for 12 minutes. where they got the equalizer and they had some mass possessions of play, I would say that's a bit of a, it's a bit lazy, bro. I think we need to look at the fact that the attack is still not yet up at full speed. They're still not yet at full chemistry. They're still learning each other and playing with each other. That they're kind of playing more solo than anything else. Yes, they were. Go back and watch the game, broski. There were many moments when Cunha was not even coming back to provide defensive cover. He's not marking his players. He yes, in the first half he was triggering the press and being defensive and doing duties, but as the second half came on, he stopped doing those defensive duties, my bro. And if you don't want to admit that, bro, I don't know what to say to you because I was looking at it right here, and there were many moments where the ball was going right past Cunha, and he's not even running. He's not even making a challenge in the second half. These are aspects of why the midfield was weak in the second half. Because when he was contributing that in the first half, it wasn't getting through. So Mason Mount came off. He was the guy doing all the dirty work. You're not going to tell me you expect Bruno to do all the dirty work that Mason Mount was doing. You know what I mean? I know that Gotti didn't do the same job that Mason Mount did, but realistically, the reason why we didn't score more goals was based on the tens. They didn't have the best performance today. They're still working on their game. As Man United players, they're still working on getting to know their teammates. And of course, they're trying their very best. But it's not the final form of Manchester United right now. And the midfield was better statistically for most of the game. So if you can't want to blame the midfield when the attack comes from the front. We have five guys who play in that attack up front, and it's who the guys who are expected to make runs in the attack are Cunha, Mbumo, Ahmad, Dogu, and the striker. Yeah, Bruno fits in, but that's five players, bro. That's five players up front, bro. You know what I mean? So that's where the issues were coming. We are not having enough movement across the front line. It's not the midfield. This game today wasn't really the midfield. Of course, the midfield got weaker when Ugarte came in because I think he didn't do the best job. He didn't do the job of keeping everything closed up like Mason Mount was doing. But at the same time, yeah, I think the fault of not scoring goals today lies solely on the offense today, guys. I'll have to put it on them because they should be doing a better job. It's Fulham. We have an offense of over 180 million pounds, my broski. Yeah, they can't escape the wrath. Yeah. Yeah, that's not his problem, bro. You can't make that excuse to make that excuse for Cunha, but I mean, you're not making the excuse for Ahmad because he was doing the same thing. It's the reason why he got hooked. Ahmad got taken off the pitch because he was not performing well. You understand? So this is one of the things that happens. This is why it happened. And to be honest, guys, like, yeah, it's like I didn't expect it to happen. I would say to you guys that it's one of those things, but it's not the worst. It's certainly not the best performance from Manchester United. But yeah, as the number 10, you can't stop because others stop, bro. And it's not because others were static, because static, movement in the midfield applies to going forward in attack. Not all our midfields are expected to go forward in attack like that. If you look at the Amorim system, Bruno and Ugarte supposed to be where they were. Bruno's supposed to be the only one arriving late. It's up to Cunha and Bumo, Ahmad and Ahmad Dorgu and the striker, well, who was Mason Mount, to get the job done up front, to create all the movement and all the trouble. That's their job. It's not the rest of the guys in midfield job to do that. You know? So it's one of those things, bro. We can't just say that Cunha has been amazing and Mbuma has been amazing. Yeah, they have done great they have done great solo work, but their solo work also takes away from team play. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you can't say he doesn't know to who to pass to because the striker is calling for the ball. He was calling for the ball for like 30 minutes. How many passes did Mbumo get into him? I'm just asking. Not that many. Same thing with Cunha, but these guys are our main creators because they are playing in the number 10 roles. So that's where it gets difficult. Same thing with Dorgu. The ball seems to be going from Dogu to Mbumo. It seems to be going from Mbumo looking for Cunha. Doesn't seem like they're looking for Benjamin Sesko, guys. You know what I mean? Exactly, exactly, Mikey Irish. Finally, someone notices it. When Casemiro came off, we lost the stability in midfield. Casemiro was not only, reading the rush, reading the threats, but he was creating openings for Man United to go forward in that entire first half. So, some people might think Casemiro shouldn't be here, but actually he was our best midfield, one of our best players today in midfield. Thank you very much, Mikey Irish. Shout out to you, my brother. If you are not a member, please smash a like, subscribe, turn on all the notification bells, not just on personalized, but on all so you can see whenever I'm live. Guys, an interesting game. Of course, the Smith Rowe goal. I think, certainly Luke Shaw fell asleep and lost his marker. He should have been covering Bayern there. And, it's one of those things, guys. I think Bayern had a much better game than he had last week. I think his performance certainly makes up for the mistakes of last week. Of course, it wasn't to be for Man United to win. We couldn't score the goals to get us in there, but you can see the intent. We started off very well, very intense, very attacking, very expansive, but we sort of fizzled out of the game. Just like I said, and look, Mikey Irish also saw the same thing. We fizzled out. And I think the reason why we fizzled out is not only because they had help from the referee, but because Man United did not try to play to the striker. We keep driving with Mbumo, we keep driving with Cunha, but we have a striker. We have a striker. You know what I mean? Exactly. That turn by Dallo when stressed was a lack of awareness as well that, made him lose the ball. That also helped leading to that goal there. Some mistakes, but guys, we can say it's a drastic better performance on average from last season. If this is what we are looking forward to each week, I think we're more in a situation where we can expect to win games more than we will be expecting to lose games. I expect the performance to improve in the next game. I said that last game. I expected to see if they would have the same kind of performance today. Of course, I predicted a 5-1 win today, but I expected Benjamin Sesko to start the game. Of course, he didn't start. He started again with Mason Mount, and if it's one criticism I would like to make is that I hate this false nine situation. Um, I don't think it makes sense. You're gonna get this team into playing a false nine, and then we have a striker we paid 85 million pounds who's coming off the bench. Yeah. And we don't, and it doesn't even seem like we know how to play with a striker when in preseason, when we had a striker, we were playing the best with a striker in preseason, and it was the opposite way around. So it's one of those things for me. I look at it from a perspective where, you know what I mean? Broski, I am's for real, bro. I am's for real. Today, he has no excuses. We have to see what he has to say in his post match. Of course, tonight we will have, there will be a little update transfer market stream at 8 p.m. UK. But yeah, it seems to me that Amarim has not learned anything from last week. This Mount obsession is not working. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Kenny? Of course, I think Monk did well. Of course, people could say that Bruno should have converted that penalty, but at the same time, it doesn't look like Man United knows what they're doing when our striker is on the pitch. We don't change the way we play. There's no shape or form, any focal point towards our new striker when he comes on the pitch. It's just the same as we are playing with a false nine, which to me makes things pretty difficult, pretty frustrating, and pretty confusing after he demanding a striker and we got a striker and now he's barely even using the guy and the team is not playing to his best assets. Guys, it's an interesting one. But at full time, a disappointment. Again, hopefully we will not be saying the same thing. Of course, midweek we do have a game. We play Grimsby Town in round two of the Carabao Cup. early round as we finished in the bottom 10 of the table last season. And of course, well, we're going to see with the starting lineup there. Maybe Benjamin Sesko starts in that game, or maybe we see more of the same. But certainly, I hope to see more, and I hope to see better going forward. And of course, some of us will be inclined to give Amarim a pass on this game, but for me, I would just like to see more goals and a more focused attempt to play with the striker when he's on the pitch, in my honest opinion. Guys, I would like to thank you all for joining me. Of course, we'll be back later on with the transfer market stream at 7:35 UK, 7:45 UK time. But until then, guys, enjoy your afternoon. Taking the draw, 1 point on the board. Man United move, I believe, to 11th on the table. And of course, yeah, not at all where we want to be, not at all where we should be, but of course, it is where we are. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to smash the likes up, share it around, and of course, tune in for more. Turn those notification bells on for all because YouTube will not send you a notification if it's just on personalized. And your boy MarkN wishes you all a great day, and we'll be back for more later on. Catch you later, guys.
Baby.